Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Ace Anime. Hey, and what's up, guys? So I'm back at it with another theory. So I've been sort of interested in this theory for a while of what dragon's devil fruit is. Like, so Monkey D. Dragon. Another quick thing, just before we go any further, I have changed my name to Kamiku Anime because it is easier to find it than it was Joker's Anime or Ace Anime. So I am still under the Ace Anime name on my Amino, but on YouTube I'm now under Kamiku Anime. Anyway, let's get back to it. So I've been really hyped. I've been doing a week of theories. I've had a couple of pretty good ones. This is probably my favorite one. So I didn't like the Bonnie one too much. It was there, but it wasn't probably my favorite one to write. And this is where we're going to go. So I was thinking, and I went, what is Monkey D. Dragon's fruit? And there's three real big options. There is the dragon god or the wind dragon god Ryujin or Ryujin, which is the wind dragon god translated as a mythical zone. That is a possibility, but it is probably the smallest possibility. I do not see him having that type of devil fruit. The other ones were the wind Logia and the storm Paramecia. Now, I don't see there possibly being a storm Logia because that's really weird, because that's 3 elements and that's just way too overpowered. So I see it either being wind Logia or storm Paramecia. But then I was rewatching some of the earlier episodes. I was watching some of the instances where we see Dragon use devil fruit powers in the sense of what he's doing, and it came down to me that it has to be the wind Logia. Now, this is a theory. If you enjoy it, please do leave a like and subscribe. But anyway, we will get into this. I'm going to break it down, as you can see, into 3 parts. Instance 1, the rescue of Sabo. Instance 2, the rescue of Luffy at Logtown. And instance 3, surmising. I'm just going to surmise everything just a little bit, just briefly. Anyway, so I'm going to go through my written theory and I'll just explain it a bit more. So in the story of One Piece, devil fruit ranges from the simplistic to a controversial and mysterious. Dragon is probably one of the most controversial devil fruits. What is his possibility? Because people do not know. And it's also one of the most simplistic because we see people using things like biscuits and barriers and stuff like that. But this is just general. It's just a normal thing every day. A storm, wind, all of that. That is generally normal. It is the most normal devil, one of the most normal devil fruits, but it's also one of the strongest possibilities. And the mystery of it has been plaguing. It has been plaguing One Piece fans, One Piece Amino followers for so long because no one knows. I've had a couple of questions of people asking me what my opinion was, and I just went, it's the wind Logia. It has to be. And you know what? I'm just going to move this and just make it a bit smaller. I'm going to move it up here, actually. There, so just wanted to move that out of the way. So I sort of just decided I may as well explain where I'm coming from. And the first instance that I would like to sort of target of him using this power with a lot of support behind it is his rescue of Sabo. So after Sabo got shot down, when he was trying to leave the island of the Goa Kingdom, he was drowning, and none other than Dragon came and picked him up. So how did he pick him up? How did he save him? Now, people said if it's the storm Paramecia, it is still possible because he could use the wind to levitate and move himself up and down. And I actually agreed with that for the longest time, and I sort of cancelled out the thought of a wind Logia. But something sort of stuck out to me. So when I was going through this, I've seen so many people say it could just be the wind from putting him back down as the wind Logia. And as you can see in this image, he has wisps of wind just coming off him. So this does still look like it could be the storm Paramecia, but it also sort of resembles the wind. But I'm going to break this down quickly. As seen, as I said, the wisps that are flowing out of his body also makes it look like he's still reforming. Like you see his coat is still reforming along with his left foot. Now this is a major part within the anime and the manga because he's sort of coming from...
Alright, so as I was saying, with the Paramecias, we know that they cannot go into their actual element. They cannot break into their elements, unlike Logias can. So people like Ace, people like sorry, people like Kizaru, people like Aokiji and Akane, people like them who are their element, who they can then deform and reform from that element itself. Paramecias cannot do that. Logias can, and as we have a look, Dragon himself is reforming. He has Sabo in his hands and he is reforming from the wind itself. He is not just being placed down by the wind, he's actually being created from it. Now, people could say that this could be some high level of awakening, but I don't see it as that. Because if it was an awakening, he would be then just be considered a Logia. He would not be considered a Paramecia. He would just be considered a three different type Logia: water, lightning, and wind. That would be a Hack's Devil Fruit. And I know Oda wouldn't do that because he wouldn't give someone the ability to turn into water. Now, as his coat, as I said, his coat and all that is swirling, it depends on their elements as well, how they can reform, how they disperse. As we know, there is the special Paramecia of Katakuri, who is pretty much a Logia, as he can reform and deform as Mochi. But since Mochi is not a natural substance, he is considered a Paramecia. That is why, because Logias are actually just an element. So in before people say, but Katakuri can do that, he is technically a Logia, but he is not at the same time due to him not actually being an element. He is a food. Now, all the while, Zoans can only turn their body into their creature. In this meaning, his form coming back and the look of the wind of his cape indicates a Logia type, not a Zoan type. He's not reforming from a tail, he's not reforming from a dragon's body. He's just reforming from the wind itself. So that knocks out that mythical Zoan. I would really like that mythical Zoan. That'd be really cool, but it doesn't look like it at this point. Now, you'd also maybe thinking, a different Logia, as storms are made up of multiple elements. Well, let me break this down. Lightning, wind, and water are the three main elements of a storm. Now I'll show you why it cannot be the other two elements. Lightning's already out. The Gorogoro no Mi is currently held by Enel or Enaru, however you want to say it. So he can't have that Devil Fruit. That Devil Fruit is not physically possible to be able to be in him, as Enel has that Devil Fruit. Water is an impossibility, as it cannot fly in the air. Yes, there is moisture within the air, but it cannot fly in the air like that. And it also, when it in anime and manga, it is not drawn like that. It is not reformed. He's not reforming from water. So he would be able to move through the water, and he'd be able to move the boat closer to Sabo as well. So why didn't he do that if he has a water Devil Fruit? Because he is not technically water. He's not. It's impossible for him to beat a water fruit. So I'm cancelling that one out. I'm not saying that someone down the track does not possibly have the water Devil Fruit, or that there isn't a water Devil Fruit, but there is. This is not it. This is not the one. But that only leaves the final element, which is the wind. Wind Logia from the rescue of Sabo, as the reach of these broken down proves it's not only a Logia, but has to be wind out of the possible ones that make up a storm. Yet, if that's not enough, here's to the second point. Now, this is the point I see as probably the best. Seeing as you may still have doubts from the first point, I'm going to just completely confirm this fact. Well, it's not really a fact, it's still a theory. It hasn't been said. But when it does happen, if it does happen, please, I really hope I'm correct. Otherwise, people will be going back and pointing this out to me. Dragon is seen to be walking through the rainy storm, but disappearing and reappearing. Now, Paramecias, as I've said, do not disappear. They do not deform and reform. So that cancels that out. But along with using strong winds to send the Straw Hats to the ship and send everyone flying, and one of the most important parts is the creation of the storm, is credited to him. Now let's break this all down. Okay, I'll break it down to, I'll first go for the Paramecia, as I put in here. If it was that storm Paramecia, this is probably the most creditable source for this. He not only created the storm, like just made this insane storm, but also made a strong gust of wind, which can be like a hurricane, which can be any of that, and storms have these winds, as they are both well within a storm's ability, due to a storm makeup is from changing wind pressure and temperature as such. Yet it does not explain the part of him disappearing and reappearing. So as he was walking through in the anime into Lowtown, you see a shadow of him and then he disappears and then shows up in another place. Now, you could be saying this could just be editing, this just could be dramatic effect, but I don't believe it's just that. What I believe, so this is where it comes down to, he's completely reforming himself. He's coming from nothing and then just reforming right in front of everyone. Now, he couldn't do that if he was a paramecia. He could be moving on the wind or he could be moving on the water or whatever, but he could not be reforming and disappearing all of a sudden in weather like that. Now, Dragon Mythical Zoan, well, there's been nothing in this part that shows that he was a Zoan. Now, even if it could control the weather, it does not explain the concentrated wind gusts or the disappearing, further disproving this possibility of it being this type of mythical Zoan. Yet, you know what? It's Oda. He could do anything. He could make this mad Zoan and then somehow nerf it to an extra extent. I don't know. It is Oda for that one, but I'm sorry, the Zoan is completely out at this point. There is no possibility, just none whatsoever. As we see, now we come to it being the wind Logia. First, the tricky part I'll explain is the storm. You may be wondering how he created it. That is quite easy. Storms with lightning and rain are caused through a change in air pressure and temperature which coincide side by side. So what that means is when the air molecules vibrate enough, they can create static, they can create heat, thus heating up the air. By clashing it with a cold breeze or a cold wind, this then creates the need for a storm because the moisture within the air then reacts from the vibration of the particles. Now, this is really sciencey and really geeky, but with that happening, he's not only created the rain, but he's also created the lightning and the storm over Logtown. Now, which then all he needs to do, as I said, is collide those two, the hot pockets and the cold wind, that will stimulate the atmosphere to storm and rain. This producing the rain. Now, the lightning would be created at the main heat pockets, forming one over the platform of Roger's execution, would have allowed the lightning to strike said point, but now you're wondering, how can he direct that lightning to where Buggy was about to behead Luffy? Now, that is the easy part. The lightning rod formed by Buggy's sword gave it a perfect conductor. So when he was holding that sword up and he was coming down, the lightning in that sword that hit the sword has come through. It is acted as just like a lightning rod. He's just literally holding up a lightning rod for Dragon just to send that lightning bolt. And Dragon then doesn't technically have to control the lightning as the lightning is moving naturally on its own arc. Now, in saying that, the rest is pretty simple. Disappearing and reappearing is probably one of the Wind Logia's strongest abilities. Due to the wind being invisible, Dragon completely disappearing by becoming wind is quite simple, as he is abiding by the natural elements visual constructs. Along with the gust of wind to send everyone flying would be natural for such a devil fruit because it's just wind, so he would just have to think, I need to make a strong gust here, send everyone flying in whatever direction they need to be going. Now, in summary, we saw points that had support for all of the possible devil fruit, not so much as the mythical Zoan, but you know what, it could be there. But the disappearing and reforming done by Dragon is a quality that the Wind Logia alone would have over devil fruit such as Paramecia and mythical Zoan. While the Storm Devil Fruit would make it easier and more explainable for him to create the storm, the proof above proves someone of his stature could use the wind's natural ability to replicate it. Only this would take more difficulty and less control over the lightning and rain, as I said, and water elements of the storm, which were not needed due to Buggy's lightning rod of a sword. Buggy's an idiot, not gonna lie, he is the biggest joke. If he makes it to Yonko next, I don't know, at least we can say Luffy's stronger than Yonko then, I guess. I don't know how to say it, yeah. So in the end, all points show and point out that Logia win Devil Fruit is the most likely in my opinion. Now, as I said, it could be the Storm, or it could even be the Zoan, depending on how Oda would like to shape it. So, but if you did enjoy, like and share, along with, as I said, this is just the end part. I'm doing the video right now, as you can see. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you agree with my points, leave a comment in the comment section below. Sorry, just a bit awkward camera view here. If you have your own opinion, please put it in. And if you would like to, follow and continue keeping up with the content, please subscribe. Anyway, that is all for today. Peace.